one club who's had a lot of stones thrown at it over the last 24 hours is West Ham. All over the back pages today, their fans condemned, the club maligned, and all because of the morons who basically made those chants and made those salutes. You saw some footage of it earlier. Let's go to Leon. He's a West Ham fan waiting to speak to us. Evening, Leon.
Hello, how you doing?
Very well indeed. Where do you stand on what we saw yesterday, first of all?
Two options, really. As in, the Spurs fans still sing what they believe to be racist comments, but they still sing it themselves. Singing it yesterday to us. Yes, it's been going on for many years. I'm 29. I've been going to Tottenham since I've been about 10, and them songs have been sung then. Yes, it's only come out recently that you're not allowed to say Yiddo or Yid Army or something along them lines at Tottenham, which is fair enough for the Jewish community. What a lot of West Ham fans didn't realise, and probably the world, if Tottenham wasn't playing Lazio on Thursday, none of this would have happened, full stop. There's rumours going around that we were singing Di Canio, as in because of he playing for Lazio. To be fair, I didn't really hear much of the Hitler chanting. There's always going to be that rivalry, West Ham and Tottenham. It was there yesterday when they took us from the train station all the way up to the ground. There was so much police yesterday, it was unbelievable. But itself, seeing some footage of it tonight, the footage I've seen is one West Ham fan. Hopefully that's the bloke who's been arrested, that done the salute when they were singing Lazio, Lazio, and the poor bloke who's had his hair cut open on Thursday night. I hope he gets well, and I hope he goes back to the lane as soon as possible.
You've raised a number of points there, Leon, to kick us off. And one that struck me most of all is that you were saying that Spurs fans use this term to describe themselves, so it almost legitimises you using it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, when they're singing "We're Yid Army, we can sing what we want," what are we going to say back? We're going to call them Yids back, because when they're saying a song like that, you know, what else can you say? As I said to someone earlier, as growing up, and a lot of Tottenham fans, let's just say 17 years and younger, they're going to know it as Tottenham as Yids. It's going to take a long, long while for that to disappear from Tottenham fans, to stop calling themselves Yid Army. Going back, we've got a song called The Army Army, and it's very similar to Yid Army. Now, if that's the sort of things that they was trying to reply what we were singing yesterday, you know, you can't. There's so many words and so many songs that sound the same. One of the West Ham songs yesterday, "We're West Ham United, we're coming after you." Now, that doesn't mean we're going to come and cause trouble or nothing like that. It was just a banter song. The hissing, there was no hissing whatsoever at the ground yesterday.
Let's just be clear about something here. You were in the upper tier at White Hart Lane yesterday, so you're talking from the perspective of a fan who was there. The big problem that you have, Leon, is that a lot of reports that we've seen in the papers are also from people who were there, and we've seen footage as well, and that seems to contradict what you're saying.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying there was a flare that went off yesterday, and the footage I've seen is where the minority West Ham fans, who apparently have said Hitler songs, that's where they was. So by that footage, it was not real West Ham fans. I don't know where they've got the tickets, probably saying that West Ham have never been. Not like me, I went to Newcastle last week. I'm going Old Trafford on Wednesday. I'm die-hard West Ham season ticket holder. Now, they're real fans. There was 2,800 of us yesterday singing our hearts out. Yes, we didn't play well. Yes, we was awful yesterday, personally. But it looks like to me someone, OK, we played Lazio, let's take a flare, let's start some songs, let's cause trouble. Now, hopefully they have been arrested and don't get back to the ground.
I don't think you could defend what happened at White Hart Lane. I think we could all hear it. It was as bad as I've heard inside a stadium collectively from a large number of people. We don't know how many.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was as bad as I've heard for a while.
A lot of West Ham fans will come on and say, well, hang on a minute, you're having a pop at our club. And it's not that, is it? And I think that's another issue that I have with football. People basically try to stop you talking about sensitive subjects like this by claiming that it's an agenda driven towards their club. And it's not at all.
Oh, no, it's nothing to do with West Ham fans. In general, it's the messages that they're coming out with, the rubbish that they're coming out with. That's the problem, and as a society, we shouldn't accept it or tolerate it, and that's why we're discussing it, because we want it eradicated from our game. Whether it will happen completely, I hope it does, but maybe debates like this will go
well,
towards
hopefully
it.
it will, and loads of people have been getting in touch with us just on the hoof tonight on the basis of what we've been discussing. Phil's a Spurs fan, been listening to us, and he's got in touch via STL Broadcast. Evening, Phil.
Hi, Darren. How you doing?
Very well indeed. Now, something that Jack, who got in touch with us a few minutes ago, said really did stick with me, and also Leon as well. We'll go to Leon first, because Leon said, well, Spurs fans call themselves the Y word anyway, so if they're going to call it to themselves, why can we not do it?
So we call ourselves the some Spurs fans, as we say, refer to ourselves as the Y word. Look, there is one thing I think using it as was originally put forward as a defence mechanism, the way that Spurs fans reacted historically to anti-Semitic chanting against our club. But I think it's a completely different thing what we were hearing yesterday at White Hart Lane, and I was there yesterday. I heard the chanting, and you know what? I think we need to get away from this whole numbers game. You know, people can say it was one or two people, but it wasn't one or two people, and we know that because it was audible, because everybody could hear it. If it's one or two people, you keep them quiet. If it's audible, then it's a large number of fans, and I think the only way to deal with that is through some form of collective punishment.
People were saying, you know, if Spurs use the word yid, that's the word we're talking about. Just for anybody who may have tuned in and may wonder what we're talking about, if Spurs fans use the word yid to describe themselves, why can they be upset? How can they be upset? As our fan, West Ham fan Leon said, why are they upset when other people use that word? And I was arguing this. If a group of fans were to use the word, the N-word to describe themselves, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, can they be upset if other fans use it towards them? Of course they can. And that's the sole reason why I believe that there is an issue to answer about this. A very quick 10 seconds from you on that, if you can.
Yeah, Darren, I'd completely agree with you. It's all about context, isn't it? I think Spurs fans using that word, I don't agree with it, but I'm a Jewish Spurs fan. I don't get offended by the use of the word by Spurs fans. I don't get offended often by the use of it by opposing fans when it's used in a certain context, but it's when it gets taken out of it, and it's when it gets used as a way of abusing, insulting, and really spreading hate that it becomes a problem. And that's not something we want to see, not something we should be tolerating at football grounds. And I think anybody using that word or any other form of racist or anti-Semitic chanting at Spurs or anywhere else in football or anywhere even wider than that deserves to be punished.